Welcome. Today we're going to be using some spare wine barrel staves, and we're going to do a couple of quick projects. The first one is going to be just a simple candle holder that doesn't go through, that you can put like the tea lights in. The second one, we're going to make the holes big enough to put the little glass candle holders in, and then the final one will be a coat hanger from one stave and some scrap cutoffs from other projects. This will be the jig that I use to create the candle holders. It's just a 4x4 that I've made some cuts into, and I put a toggle clamp on the end so that it will hold it flat and secure while I do all my drilling on the drill press. Okay, this is the simplest one. What we're going to do is we're going to start marking for the holes. I've written on my template all my spacing. The typical wine barrel that we get is 37.5. So we're going to cut it in half at 18.75 will be my starting point. I'm going to use an 1 3/4 Forstner, and I'm going to put the holes 4 inches apart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I've got my center line, I've got my mark. So now I'm going to do is every 4 inches, I'll go ahead and put a mark so that I know where to drill. And I'm going to do the other side now. Ready to go drill. I have it in the jig, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a center punch, and I'm going to punch where I want to drill. So I've had students ask me, why do we need to put it in this jig versus just drill it? The reason I put it in this jig, twofold. The first one is it holds it secure, and the second one, it's going to keep the candles parallel to the surface that it's sitting instead of going around on an arc. So I do this, keep it secure, and to make sure that things are horizontal. All right, let's go ahead and drill. I do not want to drill all the way through. I just want to go down and create a flat spot. At this point, we're done. You can go ahead and take it out of the jig, do all your sanding, put a finish on it, buy some candles, and you're ready to go. Now we're going to do the second one, and this is one that's going to have the little candle holders. This is going to be the exact same setup or start, center line, mark the center of it. Instead of 4 inches, we're now going to go 5 inches apart, just because the candle holders are a little bit bigger. Now we'll put it in the jig and head over to the drill press. I'm now ready to start drilling these holes. These will be through holes. You want to be careful on how much splitting you get in the back. We changed this to a 2-inch drill bit, or excuse me, 2-inch Forstner bit. And now we have 5 holes to drill. Here we go. And the last hole. So here are the parts that I'm going to use to create this coat hanger. I've got a stave, I've got a bunch of cutoffs, I've got my spacer, I have my 1 5/8" deck screws, I have my drill bit, countersink, and then my Torx drive bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to 4 inches on the chop saw, and then I'm going to go over to the table saw and kind of round over, excuse me, the router, and round over some of those edges. All right, we're going to cut these down to 4 inches. Make sure your hands are out of the way. What I'm going to do over here is I'm going to use a roundover bit, and I'm just going to try and relieve the edges. I left them long, that way I have room to keep my fingers away. Let's try this view for once. So what I need to do is I need to start putting on my hangers. I've got my center mark. I'm going to center this up just by eye. And what I'm going to do is just do a real quick trace. Now I know where it should be. Now I'm going to take my drill. All I want to do is to create a hole in the back. So I'll through it. Come over here, through it. Now what I can do is I'm going to hold this in place. I'll be able to flip it over, pre-drill it, and shoot. I'm going to hold that right there. I'm going to let it move. With where it's at. Now I'm going to pre-drill so I don't split. Inch and 5/8. that nail is to hold it long enough for me to get the screw in the right spot. Okay, close enough. So now what I need to do is I need to use my spacer. I made a spacer a few years ago. It's about 4.5 inches. We use it only on doing this one just because the widths can be so varied. There we go. So we have a oak stave with 5 hooks on it and 2 different ways to hold it, with your hand or with the clamp. Use whichever method you feel most comfortable with, or with what equipment you have.